gentlemen here. We're getting ready for our last show on our podcast, the VE Podcast. I'm joined here with Nicky Dynamite. He's here to my left. And then over on the phone, we have JT Wilber. He was there with me in the Christmas episode. We did our top 3 Christmas. By the way, I won that poll because it is what it is. And we are here to celebrate 2019, to finish it up. And I'm going to give it, if you guys don't know Nicky Dynamite, you've heard JT Wilber on the show. But Nicky Dynamite and I, we go back to the very beginning of KEOL for us. Well, he was there for a while before I was.
Like a year before.
And then I joined, and then I kind of helped him boost his career there. It is what it is.
But I uplift you from the little wallflower.
Anyways, Nicky and I, we did a lot of radio shows together. We did something called the Geek Cave, which was an utter fail in my mind. It got weird for a while. And I don't repeat any of those conversations. It was pretty much 4 guys in a room talking about comics, some movies, some books.
Hey, there were sometimes girls, and that's when it got
well, I know, because you were showing them dirty pictures, Nick.
I'm pretty sure you did that, too.
I did not show them dirty pictures. That was all you, and that's why they cussed on the air. It's your fault. I remember that one. I remember that show.
One time.
I sat back I was in the second chair of command, and when he showed that picture and she said that, I said, you know what? It's not my show. I'm just a passenger, and I'm just a guest. Take no responsibility.
We're all just the passenger in the journey of life, man.
And JT never joined us for that. I'm really surprised. Were you?
I think there's a reason.
Well, yeah, no, actually, I probably would have done the same thing. I got hooked into it because I had to bring some flavor to the show. Because it was just him and Devon for a while, and then you had Squire, which he joined. He kind of I don't know if he was there, but he was like later because he was doing theater.
Oh, yeah.
And we always went on these Family Guy rants and just started doing impersonations for a while, which amused us, but it wasn't. It was really hard to listen to. So, and looking back at it, I don't say I'm happy that I did it, but it was an experience.
Hey, I'm happy that was an experience.
So, Nick, before we get into this, JT, they already know kind of your backstory. You're there in Milwaukee, just pissing in the wind.
By the way, ladies.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, you get any nudes?
No, not yet. Still hoping. Your mom hasn't got back to me yet.
Huh. Anyways.
Well, your boyfriend hasn't sent you any nudes?
You're going to have to speak up a little bit there, Nick.
JT, did you hear me? Did your boyfriend send you any nudes?
It's Portland. It's not gay if you're back.
Well, this took a wrong turn. And that's not my movies for 2019. If you know Wrong Turn, a very weird cannibalistic movie. Anyways, yeah, it's a very strange horror movie about like hillbillies in West Virginia that are cannibals. And I think there's like 4, there's 5, there's like 4, and then there's a prequel. It's a weird movie. It just is. But Nick, can you tell us a little bit about your what you've been doing since then?
I moved to Boise, get down to LeGrand every few months. Been working in a call center. Yes, it is hell.
Oh, yeah.
JT, how long did you last in that call center?
Oh, I lasted, it was 6 months. It was horrible. I wanted to eat a bullet.
Well, was that AAA?
Yeah. It was awful.
I had to call them once, and I'm lucky I didn't get JT. I got someone knowledgeable.
Oh, bro, I was the best. I was taking like 100 calls a day. All my other new coworkers were like 50. Man, I was good. Burned out though. It was terrible. You know how many people do not know what type of car they're driving? It's ridiculous.
I would say probably a lot.
Like, know your car, people. Okay.
Well, it's they don't really care so much.
Well, I guess people don't know their own genders, so, I mean, why would they know the cars?
Well, we're starting this show off on a bang. We're
So what
dropping
are we
it
here
hot.
for? What are
Hey,
we
we're
doing?
into
We're doing top movies of
2019.
2019, Curran?
I know, and I told him, I was like, you know what? When you get us on a show, nothing good's gonna happen.
I'll just wait till the election podcast.
That's never gonna happen because I don't do politics. Not on this
Not
podcast.
Oh, I remember doing basketball and I had to turn down JT's mic when they had the national anthem and people sat down or kneeled.
They're free to do that. I'm free to yell. They're free to sit, kneel. I'm free to yell.
And I'm free to turn down your mic so you don't yell on the radio.
So
Talking
talking about EOU basketball, we started it up. Nick and I did.
Yeah.
Back, 2015.
Or 14 to 15 season because it was in the old building and we
Yeah.
moved in 15.
Yeah, and so that kind of, I did football that previous season for high school at Pacific Empire, and then Nick and I, we took over the basketball range. We wanted to bring live sports to KEOL, so we did EOU basketball, men and women's home conference games. So that was fun. It kind of got into the door of doing sports, and then JT kind of filled out when I left and departed to move on. And
Mr. R.I.P.
so, and then I came back for one game,
That was fun.
and I let them take the reins, and I got, it was different for me, kind of sitting back and being an analyst because I'm used to doing play-by-play, but it was fun to not have to do that or kind of relax in the setting and call a good game, but then also got to be part of the interview process after, which, if you know what I do a lot of interviews every day and in sports and play-by-play and all that, but it was good to kind of take all that pressure off and get to enjoy myself and get to talk with you guys doing sports, which, I don't know how much sports we actually talked about because it was fun. It was a fun experience to be able to do that, get back to do that, and also have one of my good friends come up from the basketball team, Jordan Claybaum, at the time, and so it was fun to be able to do that and to interview her after the game because EOU had a big win. And I remember Nick and we called a game where, it was EOU, I believe, Walla Walla University, women's action, and it was 117-13. That
Yeah,
score,
that would be Walla Walla.
that score has not left my brain. It has been imprinted, and I will always remember. There are some games where I will remember the score, and it's either a good game, like a good game in my history, college football, 2000, Civil War, 23-13, Oregon State over Oregon. Oregon State wins the Fiesta Bowl.
Was that the last time Oregon State won a Civil War?
Hey, that was a couple of years ago, Dick.
Speaking of imprinting games, that Seahawks and Patriots Super Bowl, that's a really good one. I really like that one.
Well, yeah, there was that for you.
How about the New England Philly Super Bowl? Or how about the two New England?
They just had
New
to
York?
use a bunch of expatriates on the team to beat us.
Well,
How about the two New York Giants losses?
It's New York. They need some.
Well, he's
they
a
need
Raider
to
fan. He's
fill in
gotta
the
love
Twin
Tampa
Towers,
Bay. Tampa Bay of John Gruden. That was a fun one. Anyways, we go off again. We do what we want. It's part of this whole podcast. If you somehow stuck with us for this 9 minutes, which I imagine
9
most
minutes?
people won't.
If you stuck with us for 9 minutes, you should add Joe
Maybe
Mantegna on
20,
Snapchat because he is
25
single and
viewers
desperate.
or whatnot. But again, if you're listening to this and you want to be a part of this podcast or you want to have an opportunity to be on a podcast like this, contact us at Vern Entertainment on Facebook. Give us a message, or you can message me, Curran Holdman, on Facebook as well. I'll answer to both. But if you want an opportunity to be on a podcast, if you're a local business, if you've got a band and you guys are wanting to do some kind of interview, kind of expand your listenership, want to put something on there, we'll make it happen. It's a fun part about doing this. We have the freedom to do whatever we want. Like what we did at KEOL. It was an open base freestyle radio where it was like this. You had to read like 2 PSAs and
I had to watch
ID.
your mouth a little bit.
Yeah, you got to clean up. I remember we tried to do a podcast over there at KEOL, and we did a few weird ones.
I'm not sure which one you're talking about because
we did one where I can't remember if we did one. We did a Geek Show podcast.
Yeah.
And, what's funny is when you open it up, I'm like, yeah, we want this to be a podcast. So it's like XM, explicit, do all that. And honestly, nobody cussed. I mean, you're so used to not cussing. You're watching yourself, and maybe there was a F word. I mean, fuck. Maybe there was one of those here and there. You didn't really get that. But, the transition is a little strange. But again, podcast, it's fun to just kind of let loose, let people be themselves, talk how they want to talk, and you get a little bit more colorful conversations that way.
Remember that time we did, probably was like 10 hours in one day, started like 3 with the
That was
Geek
ridiculous.
Cave, the 2-hour sports cave, first time we ever did one
Yeah,
of
and
those.
I fell asleep.
And then the late night cave, yeah, that's when you fell asleep.
Yeah, that was, we had an idea. We came in at night. We wanted to we did a geek cave. And then we were like, well, let's try to, let's open up the sports cave. So we did the sports cave. We talked about sports for probably 2 hours till midnight.
Yeah, or
maybe 3.
Till someone else came in.
Yeah, which was at midnight because Kid Yoshida at the time came in. He was tutoring or mentoring a guy who was doing a show. And so Nick and I, we stayed around the station there. And I think he was only there for an hour or something like that. And so we filled up his other show. And we're just like, Nick's like, you know what? Why don't we try to do this all night? Let's just do a show. And it was a great idea at the time until we realized that all we had at the station was water. And that's not going to happen. I'm sorry. You have to have something. And at that time, I was like, well, I'm not going to leave and go. There's not many things open. I'm not going to go buy a Rockstar at 1 a.m. I look a little suspicious at that point. So, what happened, I think I only made it like half an hour because we got to the 1:30 and then Nick was just kind of telling what his stories, his deep life moments and scenarios of.
I think I still have that recording on this
Probably.
hard drive at home.
I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, we went pretty long. And there's probably a good 20 minutes of hearing me snore in the background. I was sitting in the couch. I was all excited. I took a drink of water and I was out. I was dead out.
Did you swallow, though?
I always pound it, JT.
Pound it, yeah. Because if you take some water, you could have drowned, you fall asleep with water in your mouth.
Oh, no, I pounded it. I gulped it hard.
Don't worry, he pulled a JT and he swallowed.
Mama didn't raise no quitter.
See, I learned a lot of things from you, JT. And you know what? You never joined us on those shows, but we didn't really know you because you and I, we didn't really know each other until after that when we were taking marketing classes, like we explained in the last podcast.
I think JT had a show after us.
Yeah, we talked a little bit after that. I remember JT he came into the station right after us, and first thing he would do is just lay this nasty fart, and it stunk up the whole station. No joke, like a few times. You just come in, you're like, hey, boys, and then something fierce came about a second later.
You gotta mark a territory, man.
Yeah, I know. That's
a dominant move right there. Okay, that's a power move.
It was time for the J-Zilla.
Yep.
So
if you're not doing that, you are not the top. Okay, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah. So it would be fun to do kind of a big KEOL because we did that 72-hour marathon, which was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
Might be a little bit different now that we don't have the bungalow to kind of camp out in.
Oh, we did a marathon the following year, and yeah, it wasn't the same.
Yeah, I mean, it just feels different when you're staying at the main school, and I mean, I only live literally 2 minutes away from it, so.
Yeah,
but it would.
That was the middle of May.
Yeah,
we did the second one.
Yeah, and JT and I came back. I want to say for Halloween.
Sounds about right.
Halloween and homecoming, I came back. Well, mostly Halloween. I came back and did a show with you, or I was a guest on your show. And that one was a little interesting because we just started going on these rants. But I mean, usually what we do here.
I think that came close to pulling the plug on JT a couple of those times.
Probably.
Nah.
You were probably manager at the time.
If it was in the new building, I was.
Yeah. It was. I mean, it was pretty. I was back living in Wall, and then I drove all the way over.
Yeah.
To do that, and I didn't stay there. I drove back that night, which was a bad idea. I might have drove over. I can't remember.
I think you hung out for a few hours and then.
Yeah, because I went back to JT's dorm room. They had a party going on. Kind of a strange deal. Well, always strange in your dorm room, JT.
Oh, that was.
It was JT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still have some statutes of limitations, so I can't talk about too much stuff there.
Yeah. Anyways, so the whole point of this, again, 2019. 2019, guys, what happened? I mean, what was your biggest highlight? Before we get into our movies, before we get into the main topic, which, again, we're rambling on for almost 20 minutes and we haven't even touched it. But, 2019, how did it go for you guys?
Well, I'm still alive, so
this question's open to both of you. Someone can take the reins.
I don't want to take. I'm telling you, I'm the backup guy. I'm the funny man. Gotta be funny for that though.
You're the break in case Curran's not in town.
Yep. Man, I don't know. 2019. It was a weird year. It was a lot went on. Got my first girlfriend because I was forever alone. That was fun. And then it wasn't fun. And then now I'm here.
Yeah, but you know what, JT? We got to go down to Disturb.
That was honestly my highlight.
Yeah,
Legit.
That was
Disturbed. So fucking good.
Yeah, we were partying hard that night, and it was a lot of fun. I mean, Disturbed nailed it. It was perfect setting because I love In This Moment, but you got to hear the main songs of theirs for like 30 minutes. And then you had 2 hours of Disturb, and they were just going through the hits. I mean, they were going through the new stuff. They had all the pyro and everything. I mean,
the pyrotechnics.
Yeah, JT was still probably in the corner talking about the fire coming up from the ceiling. Yeah, and it was a really cool setup though, because they had the fire strips. So it's like it's like a big old strip of paper or cloth, and you put, it's like when you put bug spray on you, and it just lights up immediately, and then it goes out, kind of a deal. It was a little bit longer, but it had a slow burn to it, and so it lit up on top, and then the fire would decrease over time while they're singing the song, and then at the end, they had a little spot. They knew exactly where to land it, and they had little boxes they would put them in these exact spots, and then they push a button or something, and all of them would fall and immediately go into that box, and then shut it off, take it backstage. So it was a really cool setup in how they do that. JT and I were talking. I don't know where we're at on this one, but we're looking at another concert in April. Now it's a little bit more bands, but the same kind of setup, and it's Five Finger Death Punch, Papa Roach, I Prevail, and the one band that I really want to see. I've had opportunities. They've kind of been in the area, but they're kind of here and there. Ice Nine Kills.
Are they German?
No, they're American. But their new album is all based on horror movies. Like they use that to write it. It's a really cool piece. Now it's a little bit more, I mean, kind of towards the screamo end compared to those. They don't scream a lot, but the lead singer has an incredible range. But the lyrics and how he can take those movie scripts and make a song based on it, but on this whole different level, and that creativity that they do. And I mean, not only, but they took famous novels for their other album to write some really good songs. So they have some kind of something that's already been established, and then they return it in their own way. And I'll show you some of those, Nick. But I mean, it's just a really creative band. I really like them. Again, it's a little bit more. I mean, they're pretty aggressive, so they're really good for like workouts. And I listen to them at any time. I'll listen to them. But I think I've maybe shown a few songs to JT. But they're the one band. They're kind of the opener, but they're the one band that I really want to see live. But I mean, the whole lineup. I've seen Five Finger, but Five Finger's always good. I haven't seen Papa Roach. I was set up to go watch them in Uproar. They had Shinedown, they had Papa Roach, and then that was right when the start of the tour, the lead singer, Jacoby Shadow or Shaddix or something like that, he had to get surgery on his vocal cords, or he had a vocal cord issue, so they had to pull out of that. So I was like really kind of disappointed, but their new stuff's been good, so I really want to see them. But we're talking about that. We'll see where we fall on that. That's a show. I think it's April 26th in Portland. Is one that it's on a Saturday, so it's one I'm really interested.
I do got D&D on Saturday, but I couldn't skip it.
Yeah, you can skip it for one night.
Oh, well, if I had to go, or if I went, I'd have to skip my D&D on Friday night.
Well, I don't play D&D, so I'm set.
What?
Do you play a bard?
No.
No, you don't? What do you play?
Oh,
Warlock. This is the Geek Cave all over again. This is exactly what the Geek Cave was. This is where you guys go on this tangent about Dungeons and Dragons, and I'm over here in the corner picking my nose and scratching my bunhole.
I mean, you're doing that anyways.
Well, I mean, just not on this time.
Just not on
You guys give me like a 10-minute window. But, so anyways, you guys might have to make some sacrifices on D&D. As far as I know, those are games that last months, even years, depending on what you do. I played for like 3 hours, and I think I made the guy die the quickest, because all I did was buy an aluminum pole and mead. That's all I wanted. I wanted to have a dancing, kind of a strip club in the woods with lots of liquor, and I rolled the dice and I was dead, and then I just said, I'm done. That was it. Never got into it. I mean, they spent 3 hours creating this character, and he died in 10 minutes, because that's how into it I was. I know it's a thing, but for me, it's hard for me to sit down and do something like that for that long time.
We could do a D&D podcast.
No. I actually am part of a D&D podcast.
Oh, hey, there you go. Fridays.
And that podcast won't be sponsored by Vern Entertainment. I can tell you that much. That'll be on your own time, on your own place. So, 2019, Nick, tell us some highlights.
In 2019, started playing D&D. Just got a promotion at work, so I actually like my job now.
That it?
Yeah, that was about 2019.
It's going wild. If you haven't followed, you probably have to follow us, or you're listening to this and you just kind of stumble upon what the hell are these guys talking about for D&D for 20 minutes. But 2019, Vern Entertainment, we had a big year. We were able to establish ourselves a little bit more. We cover a lot of weddings. We covered a lot of gigs. We got the podcast up and going, something that I wanted to get back to. We started one a while ago, JT and I, and JC. We weren't able to get him there last week, but we're hoping to get him. And we had the J2C show for a while. Then it just got between all our work schedules and stuff. But then I went on and I created Vern Entertainment, and first thing I knew I wanted to do is I wanted to get back into DJing around. It was something I enjoy, going different places. Mostly we're in Baker, we're in LeGrand, we're in Pendleton. We drove to Idaho. We've done stuff over there. We have stuff coming up in Walla Walla. We did a wedding down in Oregon And now we help out a lot of the community. We do a lot of Parks and Rec events. We help out with that. We've got Daddy-Daughter Dance. We did that last year. We've got 2020 coming up in January. 2020 is going to be big for us. We've expanded. We're almost to 10 weddings already booked or planned and booked in the summer for 2020. 2021, we're starting to get some of those bookings as well. So if you're listening to this and you're about to pop the question to your honey or to your fiance or whatever, keep us in mind. Again, we want to make your event special. We cover everything from the moment we walk on, from the moment you want to set up the wedding, even during the rehearsal to when it's all over. We cover all that. We only have one set price for our weddings. Everything we don't add on. It allows everybody to have our full arsenal of gear, lights, music, everything for that whole duration. And we're there forever. I mean, we're there for the whole event until you're like, you know what, we're wrapping up. That's when we'll wrap up. And we like to make it affordable. We make it affordable. We know how issues these days arise, and we make it to the point that we can cover your event and also help you save some money and have a great event. So that's our main focus on this and in the whole podcast.
Now,
Again,
question.
Yeah.
With that whole bundle package there,
Yep.
do you have a package deal with your weddings to warm up the bride for the groom?
JT, well, when you come, we can offer that as the mini
Just like
package.
test it out or something, you know?
Yeah, that'll be part of the mini package with you. I mean, I don't know how much warming up they'll need. I mean, you might be exhausted, and they might. Anyways, yeah, it really depends on how long you can go, JT. But
Well, I mean, you heard the joke about the Alabama family wedding that got broken up, right?
no,
No, you haven't. Oh well, the groom found out that the bride was a virgin, and called off the wedding because if she wasn't good enough for her family, not good enough for his.
well, thank you for that insight.
Where's that drum sound? I need a. But
I'm not gonna add that in there. That
We need to
didn't
add
make
that
the
in
cut.
there.
You don't deserve that, JT.
That didn't
Can we add that
did
in
not
in
make
post?
the cut. So, okay, we've got all that. We're almost half an hour into this. Let's get to what we wanted to talk about. We talked about 2019. Again, last show here of 2019 for the Vern Entertainment Podcast. Again, we had a lot of great guests on our show there from the very beginning. Kelly Northern was our first guest on the podcast. And then the last week's show was JT and I talking about Christmas movies.
I think that was the best one.
It was fun. It's always fun when we get to chew out each other, pretty much yell at each other the whole time. But now we get to add Nicky to this, and I mean, my only question to you, Nicky, or Nick, or however you want to say it, we're Sassy.
What?
Sassy Dynamite. That was a whole gig that I did back in KEOL morning show. I would purposely take a 15-minute break from our morning show, and I knew exactly because he would either text me or I knew his daily routine where he always went to the mess hall or the to Mac's Bar and Grill, or not Bar and Grill, but the grill, whatever.
Mac's Grill.
Mac's Grill. And they had Starbucks in there, and at a certain time every morning he'd go get a Starbucks
There's a
coffee.
reason.
And he was with Sassy. And so I didn't know her name. I don't think anybody knew her name because Nick kind of held it under wraps, and probably for good reasons. But so we kind of...
It's you. That's a good reason.
Yeah, no, that's a really good reason. But it didn't work because I would always go over there, and I wanted to get to the point where I had like a mobile attachment with me that I could do like a segment where it was this, Nicky, the Dynamite search. And then I would try to find out, kind of like Where's Waldo, and then I would go there and interview him on the spot. That was the whole plan. We didn't really have that equipment at the time. it was something what I would do is I just run over there, chat with them for a little bit, and then run back to the show, and they would hear me go on this little spiel about, and because he was coming to the show. That was the whole point. I would give him the news ahead of time. Then when he showed up, which was usually towards the end, they already knew what to ask you. So that was the whole point of that, Nick. I'm sorry I had to spoil my genius of this.
If you want to call it genius, that's okay, but I think it requires a completely different word.
Anyways,
stupidity.
It was fun.
Stalkerness.
It was fun, Nick. It brought a lot of enjoyment during those morning shows because the morning show was fun for a bit. I mean, it got to the point where it was a lot of fun. They had a lot of people come in and out, and we interview them on the spot. And it got to the point where Jim Noyes, which we'll have him on the show sometime soon. We had a motivational, like the last 30 minutes. We would kind of open up and we would start talking about motivational, like Monday, or we have certain segments for certain days, and we just start or montage Monday, I think what it was. And so we had montage segments where we'd start playing montage songs, and we'd be telling motivational quotes to get people pumped up, and then we'd play a montage song, and it really just sparked it up. That was a whole creation because they just leave. Everybody would leave and leave just us in there. So we're like, what can we do that's just completely crazy, but we can crank it up the speakers outside, and people walk and be like, oh my God, I love that song, or they're see somebody get charged or energized up. That was fun. That was really fun. I kind of missed that, and maybe I'll do it. I know maybe we can't play the music on these, but maybe on the Facebook page we can do something like that. Motivational Monday, and then play "You Got the Touch" by I believe it's Stan Bush or something like that. That was one of our favorites. Between that, the Rocky theme, War was another theme. All from Rocky 4 montage songs. But it is what it is. All right.
Rocky is most known for montages.
Exactly. So is Team America. And with actually the same song they used in the South Park episode, but I mean, it kind of makes sense when the creators of South Park do that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Enough is enough. 2019 movies. Now, you guys had a little struggle from what I heard about coming up with your list. Do you think you have a top 3 knocked down? And in your case,
the 3 movies, knock out Lion King.
The new 3 movies that you've seen in 2019.
3 of the 4.
3 of the 4. Okay. And then JT, you've got your list on the other side?
Yeah.
That's what I like to hear. Good stuff. Okay. So before we get into our top 3, you said 4. So the one you knocked out of your top 3 was?
Lion King. Were there any things that you liked about it compared to the original? Because I still hold true to the original. There wasn't really much over the original. It was a good, retelling of the original.
Okay. Yeah.
John Oliver was perfect as Zazu.
That's a role that kind of fits him. All right, JT, on your end, honorable mentions. If you have a 4 or 5 that didn't quite make your top 3, let's let me hear it.
Yeah, okay. So I got a bunch. Art of Racing in the Rain.
Not a bunch.
Yeah. Just got a few, just 1 or 2.
Okay, good.
And then later.
Let's let him hear it. Let's hear it.
So we got Fast and Furious, Hobbs and Shaw, great one.
What was that?
Hobbs and Shaw.
Okay.
Fast and Furious. Good one.
Did you say Hobbs and
Art of Racing in the Rain. Good one, too. That's a tearjerker.
Wait. What was that?
Art of Racing in the Rain.
Okay. I saw the title, but I haven't seen that one.
It was really good.
You're about
The Upside, Bryan Cranston, Kevin Hart. Good one.
Okay.
Wait, which one was that?
I don't think is that 2019? I thought that was 2018.
Early 2019.
Okay, that makes sense.
2019.
I knew it's been out for a while, but all right.
Yeah.
So
Pikachu, Glass.
How many honorable
Ready or
mentions?
Not.
You said 2.
Joker.
Oh, so Joker didn't make your top 3.
Joker did not make my top 3. Really good movie though. Oh, Downton Abbey.
Oh my God, you saw a lot of movies.
I did.
I can't believe you
Endgame.
saw Downton Abbey. Wait, you saw Downton Abbey, but not Frozen 2?
No, I haven't seen it
That's
yet.
on his
It's still
list.
out.
He still has till the new year.
Yeah. And Endgame too. Honorable mention.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I don't like when they fucking time travel. It's bullshit.
Okay. I didn't even. Okay, so I had 2 honorable mentions because I just went to my top 5. I've got my 3 locked down. Number 4, I gave to the Joker. I like that movie.
It's a great movie.
I like that movie. I always tend to like those kind of more of those psychological thrillers because it wasn't a superhero movie. I'm all superheroed out pretty much. So Endgame was, I mean, it was okay. It was fun to see some of the
Yeah,
action
it's really
stuff.
good, but like the time travel and shit.
But I mean, I didn't care so much about it. Plus, you're sitting in there for 2.5, 3 hours, kind of deal. And if you count the hour in line, you were waiting to get into the movie.
No, I just bought tickets and boom, zoomed in. Good.
Well, I wanted to watch it early. But, I mean, okay. So, yeah, no, I like the Joker. I really thought, I really liked how it is. So, I mean, there's a lot of controversy on that, but you know what? I don't see it
There's hardly any controversy. I don't understand why there was all that hate was coming from. It wasn't
you know
even
what?
that bad.
You know, if you have a hard time depicting from reality and movie, I mean, maybe you shouldn't go watch that movie.
Like,
but-
there's so much worse movies out there than the Joker for that.
Oh,
type
yeah,
of
no
violence
doubt.
and stuff.
But I do like it in the case that it is something that could happen because he's not superhuman or anything like that.
Oh, yeah.
But it also, I mean, I don't want to get too deep on it because people are like, oh, it brings up about mental awareness and all this. I'm like, you know what? It's a movie. A character. I mean, I will say Joaquin Phoenix did a great job. I mean, he was scary to watch on there, but not in the way he acted, but just by his visuals.
Also,
freaky.
he got super skinny for that.
Yeah,
role.
it was creepy in some of the scenes and it was just how he moved that kind of freaked you out, and you're just like, that's gross. But he did a really good job. But I also like how they took the spin of it and they made it their own. It had humor. It had some parts in there you're like, holy shit, did that just happen? Kind of deal. Without spoiling it, if you haven't seen it yet.
If you haven't seen it yet, go see it.
And then my number 5. This is one you haven't mentioned, but I'm kind of those like I like watching some of those kind of weird, obscure movies that
Yeah, I've seen Sesame Street.
like comedy ones that might not be on your guys' resume. Booksmart.
I love that actress in it because she was in
Last Man Standing
Last Man
with Tim
Standing.
Allen.
Yeah. Well, both of them. I thought they did a good job, but I really like those kind of movies where it's kind of got that super bad feel to it. I think it wasn't as good as super bad, but
It kind of made me think American Pie from the previews.
kind of like that as well. But I thought it was a really funny movie, and it was one of those ones that it didn't get. I mean, it got some publicity, but I like watching some of those under the radar ones, like back in the time where it was like Rush, stuff like that. I like watching those kind of independent films that aren't as big theater wise, but like Disaster Artist, where I had to literally go to Tri-Cities. That was the only place that had it for one night only, and so I drove over there.
Oh, about The Room.
Yeah, no, I love that movie.
I want to see Disaster Art.
It was so good. I think it's on Amazon Prime.
Okay,
It's on
I
Amazon
played
Prime.
a drinking game to The Room once, and
Oh man. Okay, so
that was
all right, got our honorable mentions out of the way. Top 3 time. How we're gonna do this? We did it like last time. We're gonna go all through our 3, then all through our 2, and all through our 1. You can talk as much as you want on it. You can say, I just really like that movie. I liked how they did it. Good go. And then move on. So, JT, do you want to be last in our order?
You know what? Let's go. I'll go first on this one.
Okay, so what we'll do is we'll go you, then we'll go Nick, then we'll go me, and then we'll just do it that way. So,
Sounds good.
number
Sounds
3, JT, what's on your list?
It was very hard to get just 3. There's a lot of great honorable mentions, but number 3, featuring Bill Murray, is Zombieland Double Tap.
Okay. That almost was
Fucking
on my list. But
hilarious movie.
that was my 6 through 10.
I was looking at a list of 2019 movies today, and I was like, That came out. I thought that was next year.
No,
Yeah,
you should have
it
watched
is
it.
really good. So funny. I cried laughing. Like, it is great comedy, great no joke. I'm glad I didn't want to wait, those, 12 years or whatever. However long it took for the first one, 2009, I think was the first one.
Well,
10 years. Yeah.
Weren't they blaming that on like Deadpool because Tim Miller went and do Deadpool instead of doing Zombieland 2, so they had to wait for him to get through that, which he only did one, and then he did Terminator and some other movies like that.
Yeah, something like that. But anywho, yeah, great movie, hilarious. I love it. It's just a good old fashioned family zombie killer movie that's funny,
All right, Nick, you're number 3.
Just because it's one of the 4 movies I saw this year, and it's the only one that's not like a shot-for-shot remake, I'm going to go with Captain Marvel.
I knew it! This is all going to be Marvel, isn't it?
No, I didn't see Spider-Man.
That was a good movie. I enjoyed it, but again, kind of that 6 to 15 range.
I didn't get out to the theater.
Oh, I didn't watch. No, my mistake. I'm talking about Spider-Man. I didn't watch Captain Marvel. I had no interest.
Captain Marvel was good, but it was just kind of like pretty much a teaser for Endgame.
Yeah, it was pretty good. My only problem with it was a whole lot better, like more standalone than like Iron Man 2, which was just a teaser for Avengers. The problem is they did hit the message home a little too much, though not quite as much as I feared.
Yeah, I saw it and I was like, oh, it's kind of interesting. And then the more I saw the previews, I was like, you know what? I can skip it.
I'd say it's not bad. If you've got Disney Plus, watch it. I'd say it's worth
I
the
do
time.
have Disney Plus, and
yeah,
I'm all superheroed out.
Yeah.
I really don't have any interest in Phase 4 of Marvel. I'm more interested in the TV shows they have planned.
Oh, yeah.
Like, because I heard that they were bringing back Daredevil. They want on those Hulu. They were talking about. They're still in the talks about it, but also Charlie Cox might be getting a Deadpool or Daredevil movie. They might make him into the MCU movies.
Okay.
Because they shut down the TV MCU.
Yeah, but
TV.
there's also like a time limit on they have to wait so long before they can use Daredevil.
Well,
again.
because Netflix still has the rights and stuff, and Punisher's going to get a movie. Those are the ones I like. Phase 5 is what I'm excited about. Blade,
Fantastic Four.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, hopefully they can do justice with that one.
Maybe X-Men.
And they'll probably introduce Punisher in Phase 5. That's Deadpool 3. They just started working on it. They said they're already in working.
Ryan Reynolds confirmed that they are working on it.
So that's those Marvel movies I'm excited for. Phase 4, I really don't have any interest. I mean, if you love them, you love them. But I'm kind of superheroed out. I'm more the gritty. I mean, I'll watch Punisher for days. I'll watch Daredevil for days. But I like the gritty stuff when it comes to Marvel. Though the TV shows really fit more mine, and that's probably a little reminiscence to my top 3 kind of thing. Because I have no Marvel movies in my top 3 at all.
We might have one movie in common in our top 3.
Maybe. Okay, my number 3. This one I know for a fact probably isn't in your top 3 because you guys know me. I'm kind of a sports guy. I like biographies kind of deals. Ford versus Ferrari is my number 3.
Was that good? It was good?
I enjoyed it. It was a long movie, but I really liked it. I thought Matt Damon did a great job acting. I thought the cast was well done, how they did it. Between Christian Bale and Matt Damon kind of stole the show. But it had great car action. It had a good story. Those are the movies I really enjoy. The ones that have a story, but they take you kind of what happened. And they're big names that you've heard of, but you kind of just heard them. You don't really think deep into it, and then they kind of show you. They took their time to develop all the things that happened, and it also introduced the Ford.
Yeah.
I really wanted to see that.
So
yeah. Well, they did mini series for Harley Davidson a few years ago. I think on History Channel.
Well, they do a lot of those because they did
and,
that with.
I really loved that one
because they did the one. It was about the big industries, big main companies. So they broke up into parts, and one was, and Henry Ford was huge. And it was like really it was like the companies that shaped America. I think is what it called. It was a documentary on history. A lot of I really enjoy those because I like history. I like kind of knowing how things were back then and kind of seeing what developed what. So that was a big movie for me. It was a little bit longer. It was a tearjerker a little bit at the end. I'm not going to spoil the ending or anything like that, but I definitely recommend it, and that's why it's my number 3. So, JT, over to you, number 2.
Number 2 is Spider-Man Far From Home. I fucking love this Spider-Man. What's his face? That kid. What's that kid's name?
Tom Holland.
Yeah, Tom Holland. Fucking, he is the best Spider-Man to ever play the role, okay?
And supposedly he saved Spider-Man in the MCU by drunk dialing the Disney CEO.
And I can see that happening. I fucking love that kid. He is the best. He's one of my new favorite actors. Like, he's made Spider-Man great again.
I wish they would have recorded that call.
So, what was your number 3 again? I'm writing stuff down because we're going to do a poll later.
Number 3 was Zombieland Double Tap.
Okay, perfect.
I thought your number 3 was going to be Wrestling with Family.
No, that was a funny movie. We went and watched that one.
Together, yeah.
I thought it was good, but it didn't crack my top 5.
Yeah, Spider-Man Far From Home, number 2. Love that kid. He is the best Spider-Man. Because he's got the funny, he's witty, he's all around good, man. You know? All around good. And great plot, too. I mean, and the after credit scenes of that movie, fucking, I jumped up out of my seat.
And that was my favorite part about Endgame.
But
that, Captain Marvel got kind of shut out of the movie. But anyways, so, yeah, that was a good pick for your number 2. I liked it, too. It was funny how they had this big ending at the end of what was going to happen, and then we had the whole thing is Spider-Man leaving Marvel and ruining that whole storyline to go with Venom or what's what.
Fucking Venom! That's a good one, too. That was 2018, though.
Yeah. So I thought it was funny how they all had that drama. I'm like, how are they going to restart this? Now they're just going to throw Venom in there, which I'm excited for Venom 2. That one, because Carnage and Venom are my favorite from the Spider-Man series, from the cartoons of all time. Those two going at it, I loved them. I'm excited for that, especially if it's an R rating, which I'm hoping it is.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Well, I think Deadpool opened up the gate with that.
Yeah, for sure.
Because Venom,
Logan was able to go R-rated.
And Deadpool with Marvel is R-rated. Deadpool 3 is R-rated, is what they said. Well, I think they keep it that way because that's what people want to see.
Well, and Venom's not even Marvel, not even Disney. It's Sony.
Sony, but there's gonna, with the whole partnership with Spider-Man, I think that was part of the deal, was Venom to be included with either future movies or something. I mean, it probably won't be for a while.
Yeah.
Till they introduce, but I mean, you can't have a Spider-Man movie because they did a shitty job of Venom in Spider-Man 3. That was like literally you had Venom for like 2 minutes and then he's dead.
Yeah. Well, a movie is bad when its director says it's a bad movie. The interviewer corrects him saying that he thought it was a good movie, or he didn't think it was bad, and then the director says, "You're right, terrible."
Yeah.
He literally said that in the interview.
It was a mess. Anyways, before you go dancing like Peter Parker emo style, Nick, what is your number 2?
My number 2, I actually just watched this movie last night. I'm going to have to say Godzilla King of the Monsters.
Another movie I wanted to see.
It was good. If you want story, go see a different movie.
Yeah, no, and if you go to a Godzilla movie, you're not going for a story.
No.
Definitely a lot more action than the first one.
Oh, no, I loved it. Like, That movie, I mean, that's all I wanted to see. I wanted to see Godzilla to start tearing into shit and not giving a care about anything and fighting Ghidorah. And then Mothra. I mean, you got Rodan, you got Mothra, you've got all of them, and then...
You got the coach from Friday Night Lights?
Yeah, you got him.
Wait, who?
The coach from Friday Night Lights, the TV series. Then you had the daughter that was, 11. Yeah, running around being mischievous. Yeah. And then, yes, there were some setups for Godzilla versus Kong, which is in development. I mean, and I think got pushed back.
Or it's next year.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if they pushed it back like a couple months or something.
As of last night, it was still set for next year.
I'm excited for it because I heard they had the Kong in the Skull Island was a baby.
Oh yeah, that's what he's not even full grown.
Now
yeah.
he's now.
I saw that last night too.
Yeah, when they meet, they will be somewhat equal size. So that'll make it interesting. I'm excited. I just get goosebumps every time you see Godzilla on the screen. You hear the roar. You're just like, fuck, shit's about to go down. That's all I'm thinking. And the ending of that was ridiculous, but it was hilarious.
My only problem with it was there was one of the Titans is like basically a woolly mammoth.
Yeah.
The problem with that was it made me think of Rick and Morty.
Okay. Yeah. There's that, but. I was hoping that they I was hoping that they would like show some other like kind of in the background some more memorable characters, like some
They
monsters.
did have like a tease for Kong in there, like they were going through the stuff for the Oracle Cry thing, and they show Kong like tremendous.
Yeah, I mean there was some definitely. Then the credits they had a lot of they're like paperclip showings, and that's how they were introducing Kong into this kind of how they meet up. So number two for me. Now this one is a Netflix movie, and it is hilarious. Like, and I had to go back and watch how the real movies in the 70s. And my number two is Dolomite Is My Name. Eddie Murphy's new movie on Netflix. Oh my God. It is so good. And it's funny how dead on they are with it. So what it's about is Dolomite was a made up character by a comedian. I can't remember exactly his name, but he was kind of a up and coming comedian trying to figure out. And so he went into the story without giving away. He talks to the homeless people, and he has all these. It's like all these like weird stories that people like miss that people are listening to, and so it's a character no one's ever seen, but they hear all these stories about him. So he uses that as his persona, and he starts coming up with a comic bit that takes over. So then he becomes, and it was very vulgar. So at the time it was something new, something kind of fresh. And so it was definitely something you wouldn't hear on the radio as much as you wanted to. But then he started making movies, and it started the whole black... Well, it didn't start it, but he was one of the main... I think he was like one of the first to reach $1 million on black exploitation movies from the 70s. Back then you had the super cheesy movies like Foxy Cleopatra, kind of like Black Dynamite.
Yeah.
And that, Sarah, where it's not supposed to be serious. It's kind of a funny movie that people go to like a midnight showing and stuff like that in the theaters.
Funny.
So Eddie Murphy does a great job. It's hilarious. They kind of show the how they made the first two movies. There's some memorable scenes, and then if you watch the originals and the real ones, and you can see how almost dead on they are with the scenes. It was hilarious. They have a great cast. Wesley Snipes in it. It's hilarious. It's on Netflix. So if you have Netflix, I highly recommend it. It's hilarious. It is, and it's really good movie for Eddie Murphy to kind of come back, and especially because he kind of comes back in that stand-up scene, which he's been away for a while. But it's kind of like the re-emergence of Eddie Murphy. which is nice to see because he's one of my favorite actors. I watch a lot of his old stuff, his old stand-ups, everything. I mean, I'm a huge Eddie Murphy fan, so it was great to see him kind of make a comeback with this movie, a movie that's highly rated and probably will get him some awards. So Dolomite is my name. Check it out on Netflix. If they want to sponsor us on the show, it'll be awesome. But
you'd have a better chance of getting a movie made by Netflix.
Yeah,
so that is
probably
pretty high likelihood.
Yeah, Curran is my name, or Vern Entertainment is our game. It's something like that. But anyways, Dolomite is my name is my number 2. So that leads us to our number 1s. JT, over on your end, number 1 movie, 2019. Mandalorian does not count as a movie.
No, fucking Baby Yoda does, but no, it's Star Wars. Fucking great movie. Go see it. I don't want to say too much because it's still like only a week out in theaters. Yeah. So I can't say too much about it, but really good movie. Makes up for The Last Jedi because The Last Jedi sucked.
I really enjoy it. Am I the only one that really enjoyed The Last Jedi? I liked how it did
Last Jedi sucked. Rise of Skywalker is so much better, and that's why it's my number 1 movie.
After I saw it, but looking back on it, yeah.
I mean, I liked how they took a darker turn in it. I thought it was kind of cool.
Fucking space layer, get the hell out of here, okay?
Okay, I will say the one part I could live with that was that whole scene, like 40 minutes where they're in the casino and they're running through the town.
That's a whole fucking pointless side story that you don't need at all.
Yeah, they could have cut that out. It would have been a lot better. Because I went into it first, watched it all first time, like, okay, that's pretty good. And then the second time, I took my cousins to it. And, this is the problem when you have an arcade in the movie theater, is when I know what's coming up and I've got like 30 minutes to kill, I'm going to go spend some quarters. So I went in the arcade during that part because I didn't want to miss anything. I liked the ending. I really thought the ending was good.
So while they were in a casino, you were in an arcade at a casino.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
No, we were at the Wawa Theater, so it wasn't the casino.
Oh, I was just
Best movie.
No, but
Of 2019.
no, I went and I was playing Hotel California and driving on that for 30 minutes. Great
Should I
game.
give away a big spoiler?
No, we don't do spoilers.
Yeah?
Unless
Give away a
it's
big
Luke and
spoiler?
Leia are brother and sister, no.
Darth Vader is his father.
Oh, leaving Force Awakens, like the midnight release, people lined up, because I went to 2D, people lined up for 3D. I had to give them the spoiler of Luke and Leia are brother and sister.
I never saw the originals. Well, then
No, but they do have a child.
And this one.
Okay.
Wait, what?
Anyways.
They have a child in Rise
See,
of Skywalker.
I went and watched that this last weekend. We went and watched it, and we were like, you know what? It's the last Star Wars for a while. We're gonna go watch it big. We went up to the Seattle Science Center, went to the IMAX, the 80-foot screen. We sat in the dome. We did it all. It was a good movie. I would say it was a good movie. I mean, people are like, oh, it didn't really do this. I mean, you know what? Again, if I'm going to a Star Wars movie, I want to see action. I want to see lightsabers.
See action. I want to, like, fucking, when Lightning came out in her hands, bro, I jumped out my seat. Can I just give a quick shout out?
Are you sure you didn't see a spider?
If you're listening to this, you got me into the theater Wednesday. Love you, boo.
Are you sure?
I got to see it a day before it came out.
I'm pretty sure you saw a spider on the floor.
It was great, dude.
That's why he jumped out. I know all about this.
Was his underpants
It was
brown?
only me
If it
and
wasn't,
me and
that's
Kyle White
spider.
in there.
I called some games and he was in the booth with me, and I could tell when a spider's here because he was up and out the door.
Fucking yeah.
And I'm literally calling the game and killing spiders
Huh?
for him. And I'm arachnophobic. Well, I was.
I'm arachnophobic, bro.
I'm not that bad anymore. I mean, I don't
See?
like
Yeah,
him, but
you're
I'll
welcome. I
kill
cured
him.
you.
No problem.
I'll just take off my shoe and kill it with that.
All right, so Rise of Skywalker, Star Wars, Episode 9 is JT's number 1 movie of 2019. Well, not a bad list, I'll say, for your top 3. Nick, over to you.
Well, I think you
Endgame.
both know what this is going to be, seeing how I've already said I haven't seen Spider-Man.
Endgame.
Endgame.
Definitely Endgame.
All right, tell us a little bit about
Good movie,
Endgame.
though. Honestly, good movie, though.
Yeah, like, it was the end of a saga, like, even more so than Rise of Skywalker, because this was, 23 movies. I think they celebrated 10 years. Yeah, 18 to, 19 till 20.
There's a lot
11
riding
years.
up to this.
Like, how they wrapped up so much, like, so good, gave a good farewell to a couple of the characters.
Well, one of them gets her own movie, so
Yeah.
not much of a farewell.
That's not what I'm talking about. I was talking about Iron Man.
Anyways, I mean, if you haven't seen that movie, probably, I mean,
Everyone
If
knows
you haven't
those
seen that,
two
it's
are...
fine. No, we can go ahead and talk about that movie. There's no
and
spoilers anymore.
everyone knows
if
RDJ
it's already on
and Evans are
DVD,
gone.
I say it's fair game.
Yeah. Fucking, first off, how the hell they gonna send Captain America? He's just gonna stay back in time? Like, that's not gonna fuck up with the future or
Different
anything?
timeline.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's so stupid. No, I hate that's why it didn't make my top three.
If I could go back and hang out with Peggy Carter or whatever her name is, I'd stay there too.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Who wouldn't?
It's stupid. I hate how they did different timeline and shit. It's so stupid.
Then you're really gonna hate the next Doctor Strange.
Oh god.
The
no, don't
Multiverse
tell
of
me.
Madness.
See, again, this is why I'm not super enthused with Phase 4. I'm kind of superheroed out, and I'm getting to the point where I'm just picky on which superhero movie I'm gonna go watch. I mean, if it's Blade, Deadpool, or anything like that, Punisher, those have my tickets. That's about it. Daredevil too. They do it like the TV show into a movie. I'm down. Those are the ones, the hard R or the soft R, but the some grit.
We can't say the hard R. We'll wait.
I mean, I get a little tired when you go to one of these superhero movies and it's for kids because like, okay, it's kind of a cool premise, but this superhero, he rips people's arms off. He slashes and gashes in the comics, and then you flip into a movie and you don't see any of that.
Yeah.
Man,
Well, with Avengers, they actually had to do some edits to get it away from an R rating.
I will say that was a darker movie.
Yeah, the first cut of the Avengers actually was rated R. They had to go in, and I think they actually had to have it re-rated twice to get that PG-13.
Yeah.
And it was all the blood on the scepter when Loki killed Coulson.
See, I don't mind that. That's
Also, 7-year-old movie, you better have seen it, or else you deserve getting it spoiled.
What are you talking about? Talking about a Marvel movie, Avengers. Yeah. See in other movies. Some of the movies I like are superhero movies that aren't very superhero-like. Punisher from 2003 with John Travolta, and I'm forgetting the guy's name, but he's one of my favorite actors. I just can't remember his name, and he was in 61. Shit, it's gonna boggle me that I don't have this guy's name remembered. I know it. I know it. It's right there on the tip of my tongue. He was in the. I've got it. I've got it locked down in memory here. I'm probably gonna look it up, and it's gonna be right there.
Oh yeah.
But it's Thomas Jane. Thomas Jane as Punisher.
Isn't he the one that came back and they did a short film?
Yeah, they did a short film.
Years ago Dirty Laundry.
Yeah, and I really liked his version because it was more of the psychological factor of manipulating people into doing his bidding, or taking people that fucked him over and then taking them to start killing themselves, and then he cleans up the mess. I really like it, but I also like John Berthal's version, the really gritty. I mean, that show is not for the faint of heart, but I like that kind of stuff. So, I mean, that's my whole thing of Marvel, is now we're getting too cute, and I'm like, you know what? Bring me back to the old style, where cut out some of the CGI, And, I want to see some storytelling, and I want to see some grit. That's why I'm super excited for Batman. I think that's what they're going to go with. The new Batman, I think the casting's great. I know. You're a Marvel guy, not a DC guy? I'm
Only
more on the
because
DC.
DC can't get their shit together.
Well, I think they're on the verge of getting away from that DC universe, extended universe, which was garbage, and the new set, and especially if this guy can transform Batman in the way he did Rise of the Apes or Planet of the Apes, that whole trilogy. If Reeves can do that, then Batman's it can be fine. I mean, Aquaman wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Shazam I enjoyed. I like Shazam, which was a pretty good 2019 movie. And Joker, I love the dark sense of the Joker. And I think if they kind of follow that tone with the new Batman and how it is more of the detective kind of noir, I mean, he'll beat the shit out of some people, but it's more of that kind of like the video game type of feel. I would enjoy that kind of that setting where it's and you start bringing some characters in there. People want to see when you have a good arsenal of villains instead of having a guy like Marvel. What plagued them for long is they build up a villain for half the movie and then he dies. He doesn't come back. So if you do build up a good villain, that's why that was my whole thing with them is they don't have any memorable villains other than Thanos. Which I think he's back for Avengers 4 down the years. They're talking about bringing him back because he didn't die in Endgame. Oh, my bad, spoiler. He didn't die because he came back as a new version. Through the time, but he's alive. So and he's a good character to use. So that's...
No, he died.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
He died at the very beginning, but then they brought him back, and he
the same timeline.
He just vaporized, but they already confirmed that he will be back for
No,
Avengers
that's
4.
fucking stupid.
Well, that was Avengers 4, so Avengers 5.
Well, I mean, Avengers 5, it's a continuation. It was a part 1 and part
that's
2
fucking
of
stupid.
Avengers 3.
But the whole point of the thing is that you go to the same timeline.
But
that these kids, everything that happened, even the fucking missing people, happened up to that point. So you're saying all that? No.
Okay. Anyways,
that's fucking
that's
stupid.
enough with that.
If they do that. It's god.
My number one movie. I'm gonna give you guys a chance to see if you can guess it.
Your number one movie?
It's not a Marvel movie.
Not a Marvel.
My Little Pony? Frozen 2?
Ooh,
Very close. Very close.
Let's see here. Okay. I have a guess.
Guess it.
Is it Ready or Not?
No, I don't like those movies.
Wait, which one's Ready or Not?
That's the one about hide and seek, and the girl's it's married into a family, and she
it's
has to live. She
Kinda
has to
like
live
a
throughout
comedy?
the night without getting killed to be part of the family. Then she ends up killing all the family or something like that. I haven't really seen it, but that's kind of the premise.
Really
It's premise
movie.
on the game, like hide and seek,
Okay.
but it's messed up,
Yeah,
twisted.
That's a horror comedy.
No,
though, so
that's
it's
not
real
it.
funny.
I'll give you guys one more guess.
Give me a
I
second
get
to
a
pull
hint?
up the list of movies.
You get one guess.
Can I get a hint?
A hint?
He said it's close to
I loved it
Frozen
from the
2.
very beginning.
What?
The first movie was one of my favorites, and it kept on becoming better and better.
Shaft? Well, I don't know.
It's not Shaft. Is that your guess? Or you have one more guess?
Fast and Furious?
No.
Oh.
Dun, dun,
Yeah,
dun. Nick, you get one shot. Very easy one. If you know me, you know why I'd like it.
Apparently, I don't
Secret
know
Life
this
of
world
Pets
with it.
2?
Nope, haven't seen it.
Annabelle.
No, God,
You
no.
love-
Nothing with dolls. Child's Play and Annabelle are definitely off the list. Not gonna happen. No doubt. My number one movie, John Wick 3.
Oh,
Arabella.
shit.
Not-
you told me
not
this
the
too
new
multiple
Child's Play?
times. I just don't
No,
listen
God,
to
no.
you.
But John Wick 3, Keanu Reeves, who was, I'm probably saying 2019 Actor of the Year, if you had one. I mean, he was in Toy Story 4. Now he
was?
Yeah, he was the guy on the motorcycle. Boom or whatever the hell his name is.
I haven't seen it yet. I'll see it.
It's a good movie. It's a good movie.
It hits Disney Plus, though.
But Keanu Reeves just kicked. I mean, the first 30 minutes was like, I don't know if you guys ever seen the movie The Warriors. It's an old movie about a gang who has to get from. They get accused for murdering a gang leader, and it goes from. They have to get to their own turf while everybody, like the whole town's chasing them. And so, like, every stage, there's a new gang trying to kill him or take him out. So John Wick's like that. The first 30 minutes, he gets put on excommunicado, which means all the hitmen are after him. He's got the biggest bounty. And so everybody's, I mean, it brings you to the whole underground world of spies and stuff. And so you see the John Wick world, which was building from the first one, which was more about, they killed his dog, his wife died, and he was on revenge. They took his car, and so he was going back. The second one, you kind of see him into the life of him as a spy back in the game. And then the third one was where he gets excommunicado because he killed it's a great storyline. It's a very in-depth movie, but it is cool to see how they expand it. And then number 3 took you into all these different parts where not just in one town, but now you're all over the world and how it's all tied in together. And the group, the High Order, whatever, they're trying to take him out and stuff like that. But a lot of good action. The intro was legit as shit. Like, I don't think I've had more fun watching a movie in their first 30 minutes than that, because you just see high intense action. The gun fu is what they call it, where he's doing all these martial art moves with the end of a gun. He's always switching out new guns. He's throwing out the ammunition, using that as the cartridge as like a weapon, jabbing to someone's eye and shit like that. I mean, I was so pumped up for that movie, and it went way over than what I thought it was going to be. And they confirmed number 4. Because they end it, okay. It is on video. If you haven't,
don't spoil it.
I'm not
going
to spoil it because you guys haven't seen it.
Don't spoil it.
I recommend though, before you see that, you got to watch 1 and 2. You've got to see kind of the storyline, how it progresses, because it does build onto each other, and it does kind of open up the third one. Because if you watch the third one, you're going to see a lot of good action and stuff, but you're not going to really follow the story. The great cast. They added Halle Berry, who was and again, this is not CGI. Like, this is legit training in the way they move on there, because Keanu Reeves is now like a black belt in different martial arts because of this movie, and then also like full tactical training. Like they take this shit seriously, so everything is built on real life situations and scenarios, and it's crazy. I mean, and then you have the attack dogs biting people's nuts. I mean, that's a funny part in there. I mean, it is an action movie up the yang, and it's my cup of tea. I can rewatch that movie over and over, and it won't get tired. It was just hands down my favorite movie of 2019. They did a great job. Keanu is back. Bill and Ted 3's coming back. I mean, they've already got photos of that. John Wick 4, and then Keanu Reeves is the hot target. Like, everybody wants him now. Marvel's, DC's fighting for him. There's talks about him being the main bad guy in the Hobbs and Shaw storyline.
Easy there, bud.
He's supposed to be the main bad guy now in that. So he's the dude. Like how The Rock was kind of in every movie, Keanu Reeves is that guy now. And it all was built back from John Wick.
Well, and he's also going to be in the video game Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah, and actually playing himself. Like, I mean, they actually use his looks and the looks and the whole deal. And then if they do any more Toy Story movies, he's probably in there too. I think he's in a few other things. I mean, he's like, everybody wants a piece of Keanu Reeves now. And he's legit one of the nicest guys. Like, just... Anyways, John Wick 3, my favorite movie of 2019. I highly recommend it. Go watch it. But if you haven't seen the other two, watch 1 and 2 because those are great movies. I mean, that's probably my favorite trilogy, which is tough because there are. I mean, until Deadpool 3. I mean, when that happens, I mean those two are kind of the flip of my favorite trilogies. I mean, I would also put the Dark Knight trilogy as up there. There's not many standalone 3 movies that everyone gets better. A lot of people are going to be like, Star Wars 1, 2, and 3, which is a really good trilogy. Yeah. But my favorite trilogy is John Wick, just because it's my cup of tea. And each movie seems to get better in the way they build it up. And in Deadpool 3, I mean, I just love Deadpool. I mean, that's essentially who Ryan Reynolds is. He's my favorite. He's probably one of my favorite actors, but just because of the wittiness of what he does and how every role. I mean, I watched Underground 6 not too long ago on Netflix. Not too bad. I actually
saw an interview where he was talking about his preparations for playing Detective Pikachu.
Yeah,
and he actually said one thing. Now that I'm sure this is fully fictitious, but one thing he said, he went full method acting mode and didn't pick up his daughters from soccer practice because Detective Pikachu doesn't know those 2 girls.
Yep. Nope. Exactly. That's the kind of wit that I like. That's my kind of humor. So I mean, yeah, it was just it. Deadpool 3 when it comes out, I'm excited. I know it's going to be good. I mean, even as good as just him is ranting on people and. Deadpool 1 and 2.
Well, the unicorn be back.
There's just a lot of things they build off that, which is fun, and just the way that they make fun of everybody, it's fun too. So again, the recap. So for JT, his number 3 movie was Zombieland 2, then Spider-Man: Far From Home, and then Rise of Skywalker. Star Wars Episode 9 was his number 1 for Nick.
Hell yeah!
He had Captain Marvel, Godzilla, King of the Monsters, and then Endgame. There's his 3, 2, and 1. And for me, I had Ford versus Ferrari as number 3. I had Dolomite as my name, number 2. And number 1, of course, John Wick 3, Parabellum. That is we just got through. We finally, after a while doing this.
Are they going to vote?
We're going to put a poll up there. I'm working on to get it so you can do like 3 options instead of 2, so it's not that kind of bullshit. But I'm working on that, and I'll hopefully have it on tonight. That's the plan. So yeah, that's 2019. 2020 is looking bright for us here at Vern Entertainment, and we're excited to go. And Nick, it's been great to have you in town here to do this podcast with us. And
great
JT, as always. Again, 2020, we have some things we want to get done, but things have to happen first to kind of expand on the podcast.
JT, move your ass back here already?
Yeah, pretty much.
Find me a job, man. Shit.
Yeah, I'm working on that. I'm always working to get you a job.
Anyone hiring up there?
Everybody's hiring. You just need to apply.
Yeah, but I need a certain amount. I mean, I got bills, man. You feel me?
I hear you. I've got bills, too, and every time you delay, I have to pay more bills. Anyways, so yeah, that's it for 2019. We're ending it on probably a low note. The way this thing's been going.
We're talking about we're together, man. This is a high note.
It's fun. No, we've got to do this more often. And again, and if JT, that's also the big question. He has been helping a lot with Vern Entertainment, sharing on Facebook.
Y'all hiring?
Hey, you know what? We're a startup.
Y'all got that? Y'all got that benefits?
We're definitely a startup, and we got some things going on. But we do have some big ideas that we want to pull off. But again in 2019 for everybody that's listened. If you stuck through this, I applaud you.
If you stuck through this, you definitely need to add
you definitely want to be on the podcast. That's probably the only thing is like, dude, I got to do this. because they're fun. It's
Like,
fun
what a no life. Like, I mean, what else are they doing? I mean,
it's
I
not
love
that
y'all
we
for
have no
listening.
life. For me, it's that I worked for my whole life, pretty much. I'm always working.
But like,
one thing to another.
what are they listening? Do they just turn us on while they're pooping? Is this the poop podcast?
That's probably what I do. Or, listen to
I mean,
us on
hey,
the
as
road.
long as they're listening, right? As long as we're
But,
them numbers.
Some plans involve us getting this to be on Spotify.
Ooh, that'd be a good plan. That's a
Some
good plan.
things. So that's definitely something we're working on. We'll have that hopefully here in a few bit in a while. And then JT, if you heard, he's been helping a lot with us, and when we can get him onto a basis, he would be joining the Vern Entertainment podcast.
Put me on payroll.
Yeah, in a million years, or whenever this gets going officially. Like, Vern Entertainment, big startup. We're doing a lot of things, but we still have a lot to go in what we want to do. But, and again, we really want to thank everybody that has taken the time to help us improve and help, because again, this is the big thing for me is you can do all you want and say, share this, share that. But when you actually get to sit down with each person that you do something for, and then you immediately build that relationship, that makes us stronger, that makes you stronger. And so it's really helped us here, especially in the almost year and a half that we've been officially going. We've jumped many obstacles that I thought was going to take a few years. And we have improved tremendously at a quick rate, which is good, but is also something that I always want to improve. And so I don't like to sustain, because if you sustain, then you get used to it, and then it gets stale. I always like to go higher and more in what I want to do, improve as much as we can. And so, again, to everybody that's helped out between letting us DJ your wedding, giving us as recommendations. It's a whole network. It's not just me. It's not just JT. It's not just Nick here joining on the podcast. It's everybody that's been involved. You guys have made 2019 very special, and you have also made 2020 another bright year for us and improving. So again, we want to thank you for that. But for Nick here, Nicky Dynamite, Sassy Dynamite couldn't join us, but hopefully in the future she will. And JT over on the end, we can't wait to actually have you kind of full time here with us. I know you in spirit and over the radio line or the phone line you are, but we do our best work when we're in the studio together. That sounds like a remote.
The way we're calling this, no phone lines, is actually voiced over internet protocol.
Well, it is what it is. Yeah. But again, that's where the magic happens, baby.
I like it.
It sounds like a very emotional, romantic song.
You're ending on a sweet note. Like you're choking up there. I feel it.
Yeah.
I feel it coming out of your eye.
Yeah, I got a tear going down the side of my cheek. But with that being said, this is definitely our longest show. We had a lot to get out of our system, but it's always fun to have you guys here, kind of have a reunion of our old KEOL days, back as when we were DJs doing this freeform stuff, and see how a few years later we're still doing the same shit. So, in a different location, but similar to the same stuff. For that, we want to say everybody have a happy new year, happy 2019. From Nick, JT, and Curran here, this has been Vern Entertainment, the podcast, last one 2019. We'll be back with 2020. Everybody have a great night.